Hey y'all, Bethany here with ZR2 Girls, and today I'm going to address the situation I have going on with my passenger seat. So I was very fortunate. I was able to go out to California and do the GM Special Calico event a few weeks back. And so that was the first time I really had a chance to sit in a passenger seat. So ZR2 Cutie over on Instagram, Abby, huge shout out, hi Abby, she let me sit in her passenger seat. She has a 23 Desert Boss in the nitro yellow, which really cool color. Anyways, so that was the first time I really got a chance to sit in the passenger seat for an extended period of time. I've heard complaints from my passengers that the seat's too low. I do think Chevy kind of did us wrong in not putting a power passenger seat. That does not make sense to me. I had one in my 2018, so I do not understand why they do not have power passenger seats. But nonetheless, I have been looking for a solution since I actually bought my truck to get this seat a little bit higher because it's only adjustable front and back. I'm 5'6" for reference, and my knees do sit pretty tall. And if you have any lower back issues, you should really be sitting with your knees below the level of your hips, because that's going to be the best position for your alignment to be in. And if you're on long trips, I can see how this could get really, really uncomfortable and not fun at all. So what I found was Desert does it, and they make something called seat jackers. So what these seat jackers are they go right up underneath the mounts here, and I'm going to show you how I install that here in just a minute. And you can order front and rear, so the front side and the rear side of the seat, or just the front or just the rear. And they also have this really cool MOLLE panel that you can get as well that you can put up underneath here, and I've seen it where they had flashlights and stuff mounted. I did not go with that. I just went with the front and the rear. The front's going to lift this seat up about 1 inch. The rear, you have adjustability, so you can go anywhere from 1/4 of an inch all the way up to 1 1/4 inches. They make it out of 6061 aluminum. All of their parts are powder coated and 100% made in the USA. So let's go ahead and get to that install. Okay, so let's first start with what you're going to need to get this installed. So when you order your product, you're going to order either the rear and the front, and either the driver or the passenger, or all of the above. So I ordered for the passenger seat only, the rear and the front. So the instructions for the rear are going to come on the back of the card that's included in the box. And on the rear, it's going to come in a package like this. You've got your little sticker there, Desert does it. And you're going to have 3 different size spacers, and that's how you are going to get that adjustability from the 1/4 of an inch up to the 1 1/4 inches, depending on how many spacers and which variation of the spacers you use. It also comes with the replacement bolts. You're going to need a 15mm socket to use these bolts and a wrench. It does come with your blue Loctite, which you're going to need to use. And then on the front, you have another sticker, and then you have a QR code that's going to take you to the instructions, and I'm also going to walk you through how you do it in this video. And then this again is the front block, which is going to get you 1 inch in the front of the passenger side seat. You do get a lemon head. I don't think I've had a lemon head since I was in high school, so I'm actually kind of excited to try this. Okay, so you're also going to need a T50 Torx. And then you already have your wrench, and then you're also going to need a torque wrench. You're going to need a torque wrench that can torque to 35 foot-pounds. So make sure you have that as well, so you can get it right back to the way it was from factory. All right, let's go ahead and get to the truck. Okay, so we're going to start with doing the front, and to do that you need to start actually with loosening the Torx bolts in the back using that T50 Torx. So you're going to have to push your seat all the way forward and then move to the back. Okay, so now that we're in the rear here, you are going to have 2. There's one here and there's one on the other side over here. So you just have to loosen those. You do not want to actually remove them. And this is going to take a little bit of force, and I like to say that they put this stuff on man tight, and it's so that women can't mess with it. But good thing is I'm strong. Okay, so those are loosened. We're going to move to the front. Okay, so now that we're to the front, you're going to push the seat all the way back. And then we are actually going to completely remove both of these from this front side. And that again uses that T50. All right, so now that we have those out, now we are gonna put the seat jackers in. All right, so underneath here, you're gonna see you have these two divots. And the way you position this, you'll see it's kind of got an angle here, and then one side has a divot and one side's flat. The flat's gonna go down, and you'll see because this kind of sits right up into those pieces right here. So you wanna make sure it goes like that. So once you have that lined up, then you're gonna use the blue Loctite and put it on the included bolts using that 15mm socket and put those back down into place. And then you're gonna torque those down to 35 foot-pounds. Okay, so if you're gonna be doing the rear as well, you are gonna want to leave these loose before you tighten them all the way down so that you can get the rear on. All right, so I'm moving to the back. So now you are going to need to put the seat all the way forward. You are going to need your T50 Torx. And now you can actually remove these ones completely. All right, in placing these spacers, you end up getting, you have a 1 inch, you have a 1/4 of an inch, and then you have a 1/2 inch. So I ended up using the 1/2 inch. So I put these on pretty loose, and then I sat in the seat to see what was the most comfortable. I tried it with the 1 inch, that was not good. I think the 1/2 inch is actually going to be perfect. I think the 1/4 of an inch is not going to be enough for what I want it to be. So now that I have that done, now I just have to put the Loctite on these bolts, Loctite on the front bolts, and then end up tightening them all down, and then making sure you do each bolt to the 35 foot-pounds with your torque wrench. Also, if you use the 1 inch spacer or more, then you need to go with the 60mm length bolts. And then if you use either the 1/4 or the 1/2, then you use the 40mm bolts. So you do get a total of 4 different bolts, 2 of each size. And it depends on how much of the spacer you actually use determines on which size bolt. Since I went with just the 1/2 inch, then I'm gonna use the 40mm bolt. Okay, now that we got the rear completely tightened down, we had to again loosen the front because of being able to push that forward. So now we're just going to get Loctite on the front bolts and then get those tightened down, and then use the torque wrench to get those back to the 35 foot-pounds of torque. All right, so here's the front. Put those on. See forward. Come around to the back. And you've got the spacers in the back. And again, you can choose whatever variation of the spacers you want to whatever's comfortable for you. Okay, so let's see how this works. So I definitely feel like I'm in a much better position. I feel like this is a much more natural position. My knees aren't so high up in the air. Again, I have the 1 inch up in the front, and I did the 1/2 in the back. You do have that option to go higher or lower in the back if it's more comfortable for you to do that. So if you don't already follow the adventure over on Instagram, please follow me over at ZR2 Girls. That's with a Z. And please like and subscribe because it really does truly help me keep going with these videos. So thanks for watching. I hope you all have a nice day.